अखिलेश यादव जब कहते हैं कि 12 लाख एनुअल इनकम तक के लोगों को आप बिल्कुल टैक्स फ्री कर दीजिए क्योंकि उनके हाथ में ज्यादा पैसे होंगे तो वो ज्यादा चीजें खरीदेंगे, आपको तो जीएसटी में फिर भी टैक्स मिलेगा. इज ही ओवर सिंप्लीफाइंग?
Well, everybody has their own view on how to handle tax and tax-related matters. Samajwadi Party was a very strong member in some of the earlier UPA governments. I wished finance ministers had taken his advice then.
So this is about political one-upmanship?
I don't look at it. In fact, honestly, I feel there are some items and some issues on which political parties will have to come together. And I will list them out.
Can you see that happening with the kind of confrontation that we see every day in Parliament, in the rhetoric during elections? Do you see any consensus building, taking the country forward kind of activity? Because many political parties are deciding not even to participate in the Niti Aayog meeting on 27th. Mamata Banerjee is going to come because she wants to fight with the central government क्योंकि आप उनको पैसे नहीं दे रहे.
With due respect, I admit that is a good position to take. Because Niti Aayog like forum, where the Prime Minister is the chair, is a very good forum to come and speak about the issues that you think are important for the state. It is a good forum. And I think opposition, by taking this kind of a position, is actually losing an opportunity. They should come to the Niti Aayog and say, look, my state is getting this much, it should get this much. These are the projects which need funding, and speak up. Don't you want to use that opportunity? I would honestly want states to participate in it and speak about their issues.
But Nirmala ji, most opposition parties have protested outside Parliament today, saying that your budget was a Kursi Bachao budget because you announced schemes for Andhra Pradesh, you announced schemes for Bihar, there was no mention of any other state. You even had a little bit of a confrontation in Rajya Sabha with the leader of opposition, Mallikarjun Kharge. But do you really believe this is a Kursi Bachao? Because now you cannot do without the numbers of the TDP and the JDU, which is why you've announced this. And even if you say कि बाकी states के लिए है, you didn't even take their name. The fact that you took only these two names clearly was a political message.
I took Himachal Pradesh's name.
In flood control. Yes. In flood control, yes. The announcement that you made.
I took Assam's name. I took Sikkim's name. So I have taken other states' names. It's not as if I've named only two. And I also repeat the point that I said in the Rajya Sabha. I want to challenge the Congress party on each of their budgets that they have spoken. If they had not mentioned the name of any one state in it, did it mean that they didn't want to give money for that state? Can I conclude like that? It means from the way in which they seem to be behaving today, that's what it implies, whereas I didn't imply that. I will still have money going to states who have not named them in my budget. I will still have projects undertaken in those states. I will still have centrally sponsored schemes happening in those states. So I will still look at ADB or World Bank functioning, support coming in, financial support coming in as loans to fund projects in those states. But does it mean, because of the way in which the Congress party has interpreted it today and walked out during the zero hour discussion in the morning, does it mean that in their budget, if they didn't mention the name of one state, they stopped the money going to that state? I'd like to challenge. I would like to pick up on those budgets. In fact, let me tell you, today somebody who has read Indian budgets as a matter of hobby every year gave me this news that, once an alliance partner left the alliance, they dropped mention about that state totally during their alliance days. Those kind of tricks maybe they play. We don't play those games. Take the budget documents which go along with my speech. Whether I mention it in my speech or not, the documents will show by scheme what monies go under each scheme to which state. Every state has it. Every state gets projects funded and monies go, whether I mentioned them in the speech or not. And that's why I took the example of Maharashtra, where a big project, a seaport, which actually this country deserved to have for the last 70 years. One of the biggest projects, and the best draft is in that port. It should have been built 70 years ago. India would have had great advantage. Vadavan port in Maharashtra. Did I mention it in my vote on account? Or did I mention it now? I didn't in either of them. But the cabinet has given an approval to build one of the best, biggest port for India in Vadavan, 76,000 crores. You can always say, no, you didn't mention, but did money get stopped?
That's an election-bound state. So I will again be political and say कि महाराष्ट्र को आपने दिए क्योंकि वहाँ election है.
Have your team to look into the budget documents and tell me which state has been ignored.